Okay, and we are here. We are live. Always almost there. Day after show. We are back. It is Saturday. I'm seeing Goose tonight. Feeling good. How are you guys today?
Glorious.
Yeah, I'm a little
Majestical,
tired.
would you say?
Tired. Yeah, I don't think I'm feeling majestical right now. I was really excited about the show last night, though. So
yes, we will get there.
Feeling good.
We got a couple of great guests today. We've got Ken, aka Goose in the Pool on Instagram, who was at the show last night, and we've also got Matt. Yes, the Matt from the Jeff Engborg request earlier in the week. So he'll be on to tell us the story of that and whether he ended up buying all of the merch. As always, before we dive in today, a word from our sponsor. So today's episode of Always Almost There is sponsored by Evergio Wellness. Evergio functional mushrooms are here to help right now, whether you are gearing up for a show, going to sleep afterwards, or recovering and restoring the day after. With a wide range of health benefits, Evergio mushrooms help you make the most out of the moment through the ancient healing properties in their highly potent fruiting bodies. The organic certified therapeutic potency and their planet positive refill system are two of the many standout reasons that Evergio is my choice supplement. Be clear, chill, balanced, energized, protected, focused, and calm in the moment with Evergio mushrooms. Use code STORMSOUND15 for 15% off your order, available to ship anywhere in the US or Canada. Very, very cool. So, second night in New Orleans, banger Friday, if you will. Really amazing show last night.
Yeah, hot show. Lots of interesting stuff. Great jams, great set list, and a few kind of spins on some tracks. So yeah, I mean, super psyched about last night. This tour is just rolling along, man. Super stoked for tonight.
Me too.
Yeah, man. Similar sentiments. Last night was so much fun. Had a blast watching the stream. Made it through the whole stream for the first time in a while because we had a weekend day there. And I'm glad I stuck around till the end.
I am very proud of myself for making it to the end. I almost dozed off a couple of times during set 2 because woke up at 4 a.m. Eastern for my flight to Austin and then went to bed at 1 a.m. Central. So nice 22-hour day. But I'm proud of myself for making it through the show. Definitely worth it, especially with the way that second set, especially the latter half of the second set went. Oh, boy. But we're going to bring on – Ken might be having some technical difficulties backstage. But we will hopefully get Ken on here in a minute. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Sorry.
There's Ken.
Hey,
Ken, how are you?
Good. I'm doing really well. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Thank you very much for coming on today. We're very, very excited. Tell us, we didn't have a guest on yesterday, so we don't really know much about the vibe, about the venue, how things were in New Orleans the last 2 nights. So take us through it. What was the Joy Theater like? What was the vibe in the room? Go for it.
The Joy Theater was pretty dope. I have nothing but nice things to say about the theater. It was super nice. Here's my mic. Here we go. Yeah, no, I got nothing but nice things to say about the Joy Theater. It was super good. It was a little small. It was a little packed.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't like a lot of room really to like move, but the vibes were crazy. Like the crowd was super nuts. Like the band was just like, you could just tell they were just like stoked.
Definitely you could feel that last year's New Orleans show as well was in an even tinier room.
Yeah. And like it was really cool because like it didn't matter where you were in the room, like you could see everything the whole time. There wasn't like any like bad spot really where there was like bad sound or anything. Like it was a nice room, but it was kind of funny how crazy packed it was though. Literally like there was basically no room especially once the music started. Like everyone would just bum rush to the stage, and there would be no room to get past like the bar area. It was just like a wall. So I was gonna say, like, I didn't get super far up until like the set 2 of the second night. That was like the first time I was able to kind of like sneak into like the main crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But it was tight. It was a lot of fun. Everyone was just like so like ecstatic. Like I don't know. There was just like a lot of like you can hear it like in the encore, like when they were doing What's Up last night. Like everyone was just screaming. Everybody was screaming at the top of their lungs. Like it was. Yeah, people were loving it.
Yeah, crowd did seem super into it. And we don't always pick that up on the stream. But yeah, that clip of What's Up from last night was super awesome. I mean, yeah, a lot of people into it, singing along. I mean, look, it's a great cover. We'll talk more about it later.
Oh yeah,
But,
we will.
I think it's like the whole show. But hey, that's like it's a thing that's going on this tour, right? You're hearing lots of pretty loud sing-alongs at these shows, and it's not just in New Orleans; it's elsewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping we get something like that tonight in Austin, maybe of the avian variety, but we will see. I think though after last night we are going to rename the podcast "Always Almost for Non-Blondes." Seems apropos. All right, well let's dive into this show here. Let's start with the first set. This tumble that then led into regular tumbles, composed section, and jam. Tell us about this, Ken. What was that like?
It was probably my favorite part of the whole show. It was probably like my favorite part of the whole show. Yeah, like the slow tumble in the beginning, like the intro was it was perfect. Like the kind of the build up to it. And I kept thinking like, oh, it seems like they're kind of speeding up a little bit as it kind of went along. But like, yeah, it wasn't until like they really hit the tumble jam that they really started to speed it up. And like, it was just, everyone was going nuts. I thought like they just like really, I like it when they do kind of like the slow jams, because I feel like they're more patient with the buildup, and they just do it a lot more gradually, and like that, it just like the payoff is so much crazier whenever they finally do get to that crazy speed or whatever. And once they come back and they're doing like the solo in full speed, like it was nuts. It was great. It was such an awesome opener, and like I said, it's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
Yeah. I'm a huge slow tumble guy, tumble if you will. So really happy to hear it. I love what Peter does in the intro to it, as you mentioned, the build up into the song. He hits the reverse delay on his vintage vibe, which just sounds so cool. And then mid jam, as they started getting into the tumble composed section, like we were like, oh, like this is crazy.
Yeah, it's such a way it builds up. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, and so, this isn't the first time they've messed with the structure of tumble. Maybe it is the first time as Goose, but if you listen to Westport or Rabelo, you get actually a slow tumble with the composed section of fast tumble in the beginning. Yeah. So it's just interesting that they're toying with the structure of the song. Maybe there's no correlation at all between Goose and Rabelo, but those two versions kind of stick out in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do like how they entered the composed section slow, and then that's where they kind of upped the tempo. Super cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind that being maybe the way they just played all the time. I think we were talking about that a little bit last night.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I 100% agree.
And also, so Lead the Way was on the set list as the opener. There were a lot of audibles last night, shifting songs around and things like that. So, I mean, I love Lead the Way, but I mean the tumble was, and it was always going to be slow tumble. That was definitely marked on the set list. But yeah, cool. That's a good move. You know what I mean? It was a great call. I think that really kind of set the tone for, hey, things are going to be, loose and fun, but at the same time, it's going to be a banger night. So, great kickoff to the show for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then next up, I was going
to say, I guess all those audibles really kind of explained by the amount of time Rick spent on that talkback mic behind him.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
There you go. And then we get Cali Magic next, complete with Peter ripping the organ so hard that the glizzy hat fell off. It's funny. He said before the set started, he was like, "Glizzies are back, and so is oat milk." There was someone on the rail wearing that oat milk shirt that he loves. So nice to see. But yeah, this Cali was great, as it always is. Really short gap on this one. I was hoping to hear it tonight, but not going to get everything. Yeah, but really great as usual. And then Indian River 80s synth version continues. No Delta-ish on this one. What were these two songs like for you, Ken?
I was so pumped when they started playing California Magic. Like, I was just so happy because that was what it was kind of been on my list. I wanted to hear it for a long time. It's one of my favorites of their new songs. But I didn't figure they played because they busted out in Atlanta, so I didn't think we'd see a lot of the repeats from Atlanta. So I just totally like took it off my list, and I was so happy when they played it. Honestly, yeah, it was a nice treat. And same with
Indian River.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No. Sorry. I was about to say. Yeah. Sorry. Spacing that. No. Yeah. The Indian River was amazing. And I like the faster paced version of it that they've been doing. I like how they've been kind of like messing around with the arrangements and some of the songs like that. And Indian River in particular is one of my favorites. I like when they kind of like mess with the arrangement and kind of change it up, and like I love it. Yeah. And anytime they add synths to anything too, that's also cool in my book.
Definitely.
We got a 3-hour podcast coming of Ryan talking about the 9 different versions of Indian River. So get ready for that.
9 for now.
9 for now. Yeah, right.
And then next, he may not be here, but this was for Kev. Bob Don with the first with since March in Cleveland. But I was so excited that this came back. This one just hit perfectly middle of the set, and that very psychedelic vibe to that outro jam last night. Whole band was getting into it. You know, this should be a more regular occurrence. We shouldn't be going, 7 months without seeing a Bob Don with.
Yes. No, I agree. All Bob Dons like need an extra little jam. I think it's a criminally underrated song.
Yeah. I wonder what that conversation is with the band, right? So like they're gonna let's put Bob Don on the set list, right? Like it's like Rick and Coach and Peter sitting around, and then they're like, let's not do the really cool part of the song. And I just don't understand that conversation at all. But I was happy to have it. It's exciting.
Maybe it's a spur of the moment thing. I feel like it could just be like as they're playing it, whether they decide.
Yeah. I mean, 2 treats though so far in the show, right? You get like a slow tumble, and then you get a Bob Don with, which is pretty great.
Brian, you're oddly quiet over there.
Well, no, I mean, not much to add to that. I mean, I think they're probably thinking, we got to keep things interesting. You know what I mean? We can't, you can't always do the awesome ending, I guess. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So, but it's like we talk about all the time with a lot of variations of songs and with jam, without jam. So, I mean, I feel like this is no different. You know what I mean? But has been a while for that one. So, and we talked about it on the pod the other day. I think we were pushing it pretty hard after, was it maybe Atlanta or whenever? But yeah, good stuff for sure. Always happy to see the Bob Don with, and then Look Out Cleveland, another song that we haven't seen covers for a while. Yeah.
Last played in
rarely played covers, and I mean this is a good one. I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem with Look Out Cleveland.
Hey, today's October 8th. Let's give a shout out to the T5 Look Out Cleveland from 1 year ago today. If you haven't listened to that in a while, 10/8/21, really phenomenal jam.
Oh wow, they love playing it in October, man. They played it also at Swansea 2020 in early October on Greg's birthday. Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, Ken, what was Look Out Cleveland like?
It was awesome. That was another one that I didn't really expect them to play it, and I was overjoyed when they did because, like I said, it's a rare one. They never really bust that one out, and it's nice too because it's a cover that they will kind of always jam on as well. Sometimes when you get the cover, you only get the 10 minutes or whatever. But I love how Cleveland's always kind of like they just kind of add to it and they just keep going on it.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the best parts about it. Anytime they mess with the cover is like they just kind of add to it and just keep expanding on it.
Well, shout out to Haps Jr. and my father, who were the only two that picked Look Out Cleveland for fantasy last night as their 1-pointers.
I got screwed over in the fantasy last night. I didn't expect them to play Bob Don or California Magic or like half the stuff they did.
lot of curveballs last night for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Then out of Lookout Cleveland, a phenomenal segue into Turbulence and the Night Rays, which continues to just absolutely kill every single time it's played.
Yes.
I absolutely love this song. Again, phenomenal segue out of the Lookout Cleveland jam. Just great placement too. Like I love everything about this song.
Yeah, that Turbulence. Yeah, sorry, Neil. That Turbulence jam just keeps getting better and better. It feels like great. That's a solid set closer. I mean, it's yeah, I love that song. And I don't know if we have to keep talking about this, but no butterflies with Turbulence, so they're probably going to continue to separate a little bit. But I had Turbulence on my list. I was really psyched to see that.
I also picked it. I was excited for that. But yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, rounded out a hot set. I mean, that's
Yep.
I mean, another great set one.
Strong stuff. Yeah, it felt a little bit short to me. I think it was like just over an hour, but still like really phenomenal stuff. Packed so much into it, and I have no complaints at all. So then set break. Last night, Ken. What were the expectations like going into the final set of the weekend in New Orleans, at least? What were people saying? What did people think of the first set?
I mean, people were just like ecstatic, honestly. At that point, almost everyone there, like I recognized a ton of people from night one. Almost everyone there on night two had been there the first night. And so at that point, I think everyone was just kind of like just super amped up. And we were just kind of ready because I feel like the second set was like just a big monster jam vehicle the whole time. And like that's exactly like what the crowd was ready for. That's exactly what everyone wanted, I felt like. Yeah, it was just very satisfying to get some of those like big longer, like crazier extended jams that like everyone was pining for.
Yes, we were definitely pining for those. They come up for set 2. They wish Tamara on the rail a happy birthday, which was nice to see. She's awesome. And then they go into flow down.
Yes.
Solid, flow down intro, not too long. Nice unfinished mist, no jam, go right into pancakes.
Yeah, just shipped it. It was nice. Yeah, they did a really good job with that.
And then, shall we talk about this pancakes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to lead us off on this?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like you said, like the Into the Mist too was really great. It was like amazing kind of energy building up throughout it. And then, there was kind of this little, I don't know what to call it, like, because they didn't really stop playing, but there was kind of just like a drones kind of going on in between Into the Mist and Pancakes while we were kind of like setting up a tune and everything. Yeah, the energy was just nuts. And especially too, once Pete started clapping, I just went nuts. Everyone was like, oh yeah, oh shit, we all know what's going to happen now. And
Cakes.
Yeah. And it was funny. I was standing next to this like old guy most of the night, and whenever I'd write stuff down on my phone for like a set list, he would lean over and be like, oh, what song is this or whatever. And I was writing down Pancakes as people were clapping, and the guy's looking at me, he was like, how do you know what song is this? And I was like, you'll know.
That's good.
All
yeah.
right. Technical difficulties.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, this is an upper stack Pancakes for sure. And this jam reminded me a bit of the Atlanta Dripfield. They both kind of start out. Well, Rick started this one out again. Didn't start out the jam, but when they kind of cooled it down, he did another kind of some nice just kind of finger picking. Kind of changed the direction and brought it down. Just kind of a nice melodic, just kind of gorgeous sounding finger picking. So similar to Dripfield in that way. And then just another beautiful kind of bliss jam, if you will. And I mean it's very, very good. I feel like I think maybe I've listened to it 3 times today. Was up late after the show last night listening to the Pancakes in the Matavan a couple more times as well. So it's you know what I mean. I don't want to hasty rank even after 5 or 6 listens, but this is going to be right up there. I mean, it's, it won't surpass Nashville, but yeah, this is going to slide somewhere into the top, definitely in the top 5. Yeah. Now the question is whether it comes in as high as number 2 or
3.
Because I do really like DC and Louisville. I think those are both really strong as well. So sometimes as time passes, you might forget how good some of these were. So you'll have to go back and do some A/B testing on these and see where this is going to slot in. But yeah, 2 huge jams in the second set that are definitely going onto the playlist. So probably both in the upper portions of that playlist as well. So yeah, great Pancakes.
Second best Madhavan of the year, but we'll get to that. Yeah, this
really?
Pancakes, in my opinion, this Pancakes really blew me away. One of the few Pancakes that have been left unfinished as well. We didn't get that ending, but it really just much deeper jamming I felt in this Pancakes than we've seen for a lot of the tour. Same with the Madhavan, which I have a lot to say about that jam too. But this Pancakes was where I was starting to doze a little bit. So I need to go back and listen a few times before I really figure out where it stands in my rankings. But just an amazing jam. Like, I can't wait to hear it again. I can't wait to listen to it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, not only is it like a really good jam, it's a really unique jam.
Yeah.
If you ask me. I mean, I think you can kind of point to some other jams, and Jive already did, where he was talking about it's got a similar beginning to the Drip Fill from Atlanta, but I don't know, something about this like immediately caught my ear. Like sometimes when you hear a great jam, like you don't even realize that you're in it until like you're in the middle of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one I knew like the second they kind of dropped into that one section, like, which I can't describe in words, but like I was like, oh, this is gonna be real good. And
hum it for us. Can you hum it for us?
Nobody wants that, man. Nobody wants that. But yeah, I can't wait to give this one a lot more listens. We're gonna keep talking about this Pancakes for a while, I have a feeling. And it's gonna be the kind of thing that we refer back to when we talk about other songs. Totally.
For sure. And then after Pancakes, we had a nice fade into Dr. Darkness. I kind of like this as a landing pad late set too. I think it also works really well in the first set or as an opener, but I really enjoyed this placement last night. I think it worked well. I also really love this song, I think. So happy to hear it here. And then Madhavan. So Ken, what was the Dr. Darkness vibe like?
So Dr. Darkness was great. Like you said, the placement I thought was really good because like it's normally kind of a set one kind of song. It's really kind of an intro, and it's not really like a big jam or anything. But I thought just like you said, I thought the timing of it was pretty on point, and it really went smoothly. I felt like with other songs from that set too. It just kind of fit really well in there, and then. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the Madhavan was kind of the highlight. Like that was definitely the best jam I've ever seen them do live, and like some of the craziest stuff. Like it just went all over the place. I just loved how it got so spacey and so out there, the kind of like this like deep space kind of mode, and they did such an amazing job of pulling you back in and bringing it all back together. At the end, like it was so spectacular. Honestly, I was pretty blown away, and it just kept going too. And there were certain sections where it kind of wind down, and I think, okay, this is where they're going to wrap it up or whatever, and then they just filled right back up again. Yeah.
Brian, Neil, what thoughts on the Dr. Darkness before we really dive into this Madhavan?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Yeah, I didn't really have any problems with with the placement. Now, you could throw Kylie in between, that fucking Pancakes and Madhavan, and I probably wouldn't have a problem with that either. So you know what I mean? Like, no complaints at all. And I like the song. You know what I mean? So I was surprised, when they played it, but looking back at that, just how that set, was laid out overall. I mean, I'm totally fine with that. like a lot of songs, that they experiment with and move around and whatever. Yeah, I mean, it usually works. You know what I mean? These are all great songs. So, and then the Matavan, I mean, yeah, I mean, big, huge, 26 minutes or so. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said, Ryan. I mean, it's got to easily be the second best behind Rally. I've got to listen to it more even. I mean, even after 5 or 6 listens, I mean, I know it's awesome, but it's a lot to break down. You know what I mean? It goes to a few different places. It has a few kind of unique sections, and high energy. I mean, just high energy. In a way, kind of at the other end of the spectrum of the Pancakes. The Pancakes. So really nice juxtaposition between those two jams in that set. I mean, two huge jams and, a lot of variance in kind of jamming style and things like that. So yeah, really, really top version. Yeah, super psyched. Can't wait for those soundboards to come out and just listen to this more and more.
Yeah, and to me, what really stuck out to me right at the beginning of the jam was normally, obviously Peter's normally on guitar for the Matavan jam. This one was very keys focused. And at the beginning, I think he wasn't exactly sure, but he did this really cool thing where he was doing some effects on the Vintage Vibe that made it sound super dissonant and spacey. But also as he was doing that, he didn't turn down the volume on his guitar. So that was feeding back as well, which was just really cool sound, really cool effect. He made this like face, I think at Coach, when we had the camera on him. But wow, like that was, I think, the coolest part of the jam for me. The whole thing being absolutely amazing. But that's something that I don't think we've seen him do before. And I think it's a really, really cool idea that he can explore, at least sonically, like using his guitar to augment the vibe and the dissonance and the spaciness and whatever. But that was so cool for me. And then I really like how the ending of the song sounds with Peter on organ as well. Really great keys work from him here. Just amazing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't pick up on that the guitar feedback was in there, and I want to go back and listen to that and try to get a better grasp of it. But
there's a chance that I'm wrong. I think that's what happened. And
it makes perfect sense. And now that you're talking about it, it's just like, of course, right? Like why doesn't he do that? All the time. I mean, hopefully not overdone, but sounds pretty great. And yeah, this jam is awesome. I've listened to it a few times already, and a lot to break down, a lot to talk about. Definitely a very, very good Matavan. I think that one thing that really struck me about this Matavan is that Rick did not want to give up on it. I think he was the one who was like, it felt like it was going to resolve, and then it seemed like he was the one who was pushing it forward. And I thought that was pretty cool part of this jam. He wanted this one, and the way it ended, it kind of makes sense because he was just absolutely ripping. It was perfect.
Dude, Rick's been feeling it, man. He's been a little chatty in the mic even. And I'm not even talking about the Magic mic. He's just been giving us all some.
I think he announced Set Breaker said thank you at one point last night. He's going for it. I'm waiting for those sunglasses from.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Yeah. There's a few different. He's got a few tells. When he's feeling it. So look for chatty Rick. Look for second set sunglass Rick.
Man bun Rick.
Yeah.
White Crocs Rick.
There you go.
I think we're due for a White Croc show. Also, speaking of Rick,
I'm not 100% sold on the White Crocs myself, but
listen, he wore them in Perry. That's pretty good.
He wore a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say he wore a shirt in Perry. I don't know.
Hey,
that's fair.
Hey, listen, let's talk about this very special encore.
Before we get to that,
we got to bring Matt on, and so that we can get through that chat as well.
But really quick before we do that, while we were on the topic of Rick, I do want to shout out the crew again, always, because they're so amazing. But last night during Cali Magic, Rick popped a string, switched to Peter's guitar for Indian River, and by the end of that song, his guitar had been restrung and was back on stage. So
Yeah. I mean, I could have put that string on in that same amount of time, though. So
Okay,
I
but
don't know
it's,
if that's,
they have a lot going on during a show.
Yeah.
Normally he doesn't get it back until the second set. It was just,
Yeah, no, props to them.
crew crushes it.
Yeah.
They did bring cupcakes too.
So Ryan's sucking up to the crew right now.
I'm doing nothing.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna he's trying to get in the
I'm
venue.
doing no
how it
such
works.
thing.
Yeah,
I'm doing no such thing. Let's talk about your 4 non-blondes thing.
Ryan's like, yeah, the crew really. I mean, let's talk about stage setup and breakdown last night too, because I feel like everybody did an amazing job. Lifting and carrying.
Okay. All right.
Hey, so yeah,
non-blondes.
so I don't know if there's not a lot of people that tune into this. So
We get some people are listening.
but I tweeted out, our conversation the other day where, the question had to be asked,
Where's 4 non-blondes?
with all the Kylie, where's the 4 non-blondes? And so I'm sure it's just a huge coincidence, but sure enough, they came out and dropped the the What's Up for Us, which, like we were saying before, I mean, it's such a great song. You know what I mean? I just love it, and we already alluded to the video, and we'll hear from Ken again, but the energy for that, the crowd was stoked. More people were singing along. You know what I mean? Than I probably would have guessed. You know what I mean? Because the song's not new. You know what I mean? So, yeah, super psyched that they brought that back. Yeah, Ken, just tell us about the experience last night for the encore.
Well, so it's funny. Like like you were saying, like people were just going nuts for that one. Like there was definitely more like screaming and shouting and singing for that one than like probably any other song like the whole night. And especially like after the Madavon too, after the energy of the Madavon, like everyone was just so amped up that when they followed it up with that too, like everyone was just going absolutely nuts. And it's funny, I did not recognize what song it was until they got to the chorus. I was like, yeah, this sounds super familiar, but I have no idea what this is. And then they like, what's going on? I was like, oh my god. Yeah, it was great. It was a really great moment.
I think that's the funny thing about this song, right? Is that everyone knows this song. This is not a song that like you can kind of hear and you'd be like, I don't really like. Maybe I've heard this before. Like this is a song that everybody knows the chorus of.
Every single person. Yeah.
Yeah, great to hear. And yeah, more of those rarely played covers. Every show, every time this happens, we get closer to the way it is. We're getting closer. We're getting there. It's gonna happen. Well, Ken, any final thoughts on these last 2 nights in NOLA?
I mean, honestly, they were spectacular. I'm super glad that me and my wife pushed to go to these 2. We were trying to go to the Dallas show originally, but there was a lot of stuff coming up that weekend, and so we ended up switching to the New Orleans ones. Mm-hmm. And like I was trying to go to Red Rocks this summer. That was the original scheme, was going to Red Rocks, but that didn't end up working out. And so yeah, it was just super great that like the shows that I could make it to this year were as good as they were and were as special as they were, because it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Ken.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you so much.
Shout out to your wife who's driving.
She's a champion. She's a champion for driving right now. So, yeah, thank you guys again so much for having me. It's really super nice to meet all you guys, and yeah, this is a blast. So.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Yeah. Cheers,
follow
Ken.
Ken on Instagram, Goose in the Pool. He's got good content over there. Drive safe.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you guys too.
Take care.
All right, and so now. The moment that some people have probably been waiting for. I've been waiting for this. I'm very excited for this. We've got Matt from the other night from St. Louis, who got his Jeff Engborg request and had to buy out the merch table, supposedly. Matt, how are you?
Well, I should say, hey, what's going on, guys? First off.
Nice.
Good one.
Nice.
So, Brian, congrats on your call from a week ago on 4 Non. That was prescient.
Thank you very much.
Well. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
Great shows are happening. Matt, take us through this whole process. When did you get the idea to request the Engborg and say you'd buy all the merch? What was your reaction at the show? What happened after? Take us through it.
So show was on Tuesday. Monday night, I was walking the dog. I'm a total Twitter noob. As you can tell from my beard, I'm a really old guy. And I was like, what the hell? Let's send it out to the universe and see what might happen. So I think I had less than 100 followers. So I sent that out. I said, there's no way the band's going to see this.
Yeah.
And I would love to know the backstory of who actually saw it. I think I tagged just the band in it.
Peter is known for prowling social media for things like this.
I figured. Yeah. And it's funny. I stumbled upon Jeff just going through Nugs, and I can't remember what triggered me to find it, but when I found it, I was like, holy cow, this is the funkiest song of all. And I grew up, I'm a late 60s kid, so disco is in my veins from my parents. So just that funky riff and the keys and everything, I was just like, man, that would be fantastic to hear it, and only like fourth time played. So I just sent it out there, and so we were Tweakside for the show, my girlfriend and I and my cousin and his girlfriend, and we're just kind of hanging out watching the show, and I'm like, man, this is really ripping. It contrasted for me from like the Radio City shows that I was at, in terms of it felt more instrumental, more kind of jammed out, a little funkier. I was like, wow, this is going great. And then after what was it, Old Man's Boat, I think, which is kind of good because I'm an old man, and then man, they stopped. And the thing I liked was, you guys talking about the secret mic. Peter actually talked into the hot mic. He goes, let's do it now, almost like dragging Rick across the finish line.
Yeah.
and then he starts in with okay, this one's for Matt. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There is no way. How the hell did he see that? So I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to the pageant, but the merch is actually located in a building that's connected to the pageant, so that if you don't go through the right entrance to get there. So here's what happened. So I heard the song, lost my mind. The rest of the show, was just fantastic. And this was like my sixth show. My first one was right before COVID, opening for Pigeons at the building right next door to the pageant. And ironically, they finished with the same song at that Del Mar Hall gig from March of 20 as they did at the pageant with Love Light. So after the show, we walk out. I was shocked at how short the set break was. It was only just like 23 minutes, I think. So we missed like the first minute of Hunger Site. Came back in, rest of the show, walked out. My girlfriend's like, all right, let's roll over to the merch and just see what the number is and see how bad I'm going to get hammered. So we walk out, and we walked in front of the place, walked to the thing, and we try to go back in. They're like, you can't get back in. I'm like, you don't understand. They're like, no.
I need to buy all of
I need to
merch.
get pummeled for $5,000 of merch. So I'm like, shit, what do I do? I said, I'm going to look like a pig. So then the next day we're talking about it, and then I knew that they were going to New Orleans next. And I remember from last fall when Spuds called out Groove Safe, and some of the things that were going on in the crowds and things like that. I'm like, okay, maybe I can, give a donation to Groove Safe and, and then offer to match some more. Maybe that'll, the band will like that and they'll dig it and just put some positivity out there and support the cause. So I set up I did a donation, and I emailed the lady that runs the org, and I said, hey, through the end of fall tour, whatever anybody matches up to another certain number, or I'll match it, and just keep going on. So I'm lucky enough to be able to do stuff like that and travel to Radio City. So it was a fantastic experience. I looked at like the set list from the last two from the New Orleans shows, and they looked more like classic set lists, kind of compared to the Radio City ones. Like next to the Engborg thing, probably my best Goose experience, there haven't been many, but was when they introduced Trey at Radio City. My girlfriend almost ripped my arm off because she's been to like 90 Fish shows. So we both were like, there's no way. I didn't see Trey's rig up on stage. We were in the nosebleed, so I had no idea. And then when they announced him, we just freaked out. And then the fact that he stayed for the whole set was just fantastic. So, I don't know why Engborg just resonates, but it was so great to have happen. So hopefully, my hope would be that like the band and Spuds and those guys would see that, you know, even though I didn't get all the merch, you know, I'm a live stream package purchaser. I'm a foil poster. I mean, that foil poster was gone in 3 minutes from the store, but I got it and I'm stoked about that. So yeah, hopefully they'll think that, you know, the Groove Safe thing is cool. And you know, I mean, these guys it's just fantastic. You know, I'm a wannabe guitar player, so I just marvel at their musicianship and appreciate all the hard work that they've put in over the years to just get where they're at. And I just, you know, just the fact that I spent like $40 on a concert ticket feels like a crime, you know, for what I'm getting.
Well,
so.
and you know, maybe after the end of tour, you're going to get a DM from the band being like, hey, we're just waiting to see how much we had left over, but we've got $7,000 of merch left, you know, Venmo us.
I did DM, I DM'd Coach and I said, man, what's my number? And I didn't hear.
Go.
So, you know,
I didn't send anything back. That's too bad. You know, I'm excited. In this conversation, I learned that I didn't ruin the Trey sit-in for everyone. Because Matt didn't know. So like I feel really good about that. Sorry.
There you
Brian,
go.
ahead.
knew it was coming. That's sweet. Yeah,
No, so
we were in the back row, man.
Yeah. So I think you answered the question. I just wanted to make sure that you haven't heard from anybody you know, with the band or crew or anything. So yeah, I mean, Ryan, if you talk to anybody, you know, it'd probably be nice to connect everybody up, make sure they know about the Groove Safe thing.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, that shouldn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? That was a really cool thing. My question was, so I mean, is it the merch at the merch table at the end of the night, or is it the boxes of merch in the trailer? I mean, what are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Like how big was that going to go? I didn't think they were gonna stick it to you anyway.
There's no way Naveed would have done that. Yeah.
But, because, you know, here's the thing. I mean, you know, we were joking about this, you know, this became some big comedy, I think, you know, around Twitter and probably elsewhere too. You know, and I was wondering, you know, where's this headed? You know what I mean? It's like, because if they honor something if the band honors something like that, you know, people see that, you know what I mean? So then, you know, what's next? Are people gonna, you know, offer to buy gas, you know, for the tour bus between stops to get to, you know, choose the set list? Are people going to offer to, you know, I think somebody was talking about, you know, hey, maybe what if you offered to pay for, you know, somebody's kid's tuition, you know, but in all seriousness, super cool gesture by you, Matt. You know, we really wanted to hear the details because that was such kind of a unique thing. So everybody's got requests, you know what I mean? And, you know, fortunately for us, you know what I mean? It's like, you've got the financial, you know, power to make big offers like that. You know, we have the podcast forum to throw our requests out into the universe, and you never know what might get picked up. And yeah, man. So cheers to you for getting the M-Borg for all of us, because we all wanted that too. You know what I mean?
Very
it's like,
much so.
It's
a big chase.
That wasn't a selfish request. You know what I mean? Like some of these cover requests out there. You know what I mean? This was a legitimate, hey, play this for the people, you know what I mean? So that we can all get down. And so, yeah, we really appreciate that, Matt.
And, you know,
cheers to you
guys. I couldn't care less it would be fantastic, but if I don't hear from the band or get a message or whatever, that's not what this is about. This is about contributing to an awesome cause so that everybody can have a great time at shows. That's really all I care about at the end of the day, because I can just admire from afar and just, you know, go to shows. And I'm stoked to go to Cincinnati. I got both shows, VIP. I'm really excited about that.
Come to Goosemas. Make your way to Goosemas.
Get to Denver.
And
actually, hey, I'm sorry, but let me ask one more question that was on my mind. So what was going through your head in terms of what am I going to do with all this merch if I get it?
You know, it wasn't going through my head because I was so baked that no, I was so my girlfriend loves to tell me how weak my tolerance is. So I'm a cheap date. So so I had simultaneous reactions when Peter actually said Matt, and I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. And then I immediately was like, number one, how am I going to haul all this stuff home? And number two, what the hell am I going to do with all of it? So Brian, sorry, what was your question again? Like, what was going through my mind about?
Just as far as what you would do with it. Yeah. Like, how would you?
You have now 200 shirts, 50 sweatshirts, like pins, like hats.
I would just give all that shit away just to spread the word.
Good answer.
To be
Good
honest,
on you, man.
I'm gonna hop on the store and get a bunch. Like, I'm sad that the one like tie-dye hoodie, the white and purple one, is sold out on the store. So I'll look for it when I go to Cincy, and maybe it'll be there, maybe not. But I'll buy merch and stuff. And these guys, I mean, like I said before, just the hard work to get where they're at with the musicianship and just the energy and everything. I mean, everybody wins, and why not? If I have the means to kick something in and just say, hey, thank you, that's what it's about for me. So
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Matt. We really appreciate what you do for the community, getting that Angborg request and supporting Groove Safe. Absolutely amazing.
Hey, and thank you guys for being such great historians. I'm going to go back and listen to this pod and dig into some of those, the best jams and things like that. And I've got I didn't watch last night, but I just happened to see part of the Turbulence solo on Instagram, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, there were times at St. Louis when Rick's left hand was going so fast, it was blurring, and it wasn't because of the trails that I induced on myself. It was just because he was just shredding. It was insane. So I can't wait for my next show. It's great.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
See you out there on
Take care.
tour. All right. Fantastic episode today. A couple of great guests. Really awesome to hear from Matt. I'm seeing Goose in approximately 7 hours. I am so excited.
I'm
so excited for you. Yeah.
Good for you. Man.
It hasn't really hit me yet, but I can't wait. If you're going to be at Stubbs tonight, please come find me. I will be wearing this red Straight Burden shirt. I have Straight Burden slaps.
And make sure Ryan's being kind to his mother also.
I'm always kind to my mother. Always. I love my mother.
Oh man. A couple thoughts before we kind of finish off here. Excited about the donation to Groove Safe. That's like a pretty cool gesture, and I don't think like anybody actually expected him to do anything, which is kind of like the interesting part in this. And the one thing I was thinking about when we were talking about this is when they committed to that, like, had anyone spoken to Naveed yet? Because he was probably losing his mind. Yeah, he was probably like, no, like, you can't have my merch.
We need to dig into this. We got Matt's kind of side to the story.
We need Naveed's side.
Not side to the story, but we got his perspective. So it'd be nice to hear from everybody else involved. I know Ryan wants to do some documentary style, investigative reporting and things like that. So I think this is an opportunity for you to really kind of put a story together here that the people are going to be interested.
Listen, well, you never know. We'll see what happens.
We made it through the whole podcast and we didn't talk about a Billy String sit-in. So how about that? I'm not going to say anything else.
I don't want to
do
sit-in speculation. Neil, I know you're the king of sit-in speculation, and you have a 50% success rate right now. So don't screw it.
But this isn't like a day off, and then he's playing in Austin tomorrow night or something, right? I mean, it's
he's
a week off.
Yeah.
He's playing again on Thursday, I think, is the next one.
Right.
So he
I don't know. It would be crazy if it happened, but
I feel like a sit-in. I don't know. I feel like a sit-in might be more likely during the festival tomorrow, but I don't know.
Here we go.
It'd be interesting as well. I mean, there's obviously a lot of people in town, so
we'll find out tonight. Very excited for that. Again, come find me, please. Say hi. I'm very excited. Neil, good luck.
Yeah, maybe
awake.
Kirsten Wintergreen could be like your mentor.
Yeah, quality news, Ryan. Quality news. And can you just go around the show? Actually, can you please do that? And can we get a recording of it so that we can put it on the podcast? Because that would make my year, probably.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back here. We'll be back here tomorrow at 3:00 Eastern to talk about tonight's show. It's going to be a late one, 1 a.m. curfew, I believe. 1 a.m. Central.
You're gonna be okay?
I'm at the show. I'm at the show, which means I'm good. I think Neil's gonna have the drum. Maybe Billy will play Rainstick. That's.
I mean, there you go. Well, I'm excited for it. I'm not excited to be awake 2 a.m. my time watching a stream. But, it's Saturday night, man. It's a long weekend, right?
Banger Saturday. It's a festival late night.
Yeah,
Monday
man.
off. Like, let's go, man. I'm like ready to party.
Mountain time,
it.
man. I'm on mountain time.
Yeah.
You're great. You're good.
It's always easy for you.
Light work for you.
Yeah, I'm going out. Yeah, I'm leaving after the pod for heading up to Twin Lakes, do some hiking with the dogs. I mean, stop for some dinner, get back, get ready for the show. Yeah, I mean, it's just sun's out.
Good.
You know what I mean?
You're good. Hang on,
Come
head
out
back
here,
out.
Neil.
What? Oh, I
Just
I've
come
been
out
over a
here.
minute. Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
All right. Well,
enjoy the show.
We're doing it. Yes.
Enjoy the
you.
show, Ryan.
Thank Can't
Talk
wait
to you
talk about it
guys
tomorrow.
later in the chat. And yeah, thanks to our guests. Thanks everybody for listening. See
Have
you
a
tomorrow.